So it's TBISE, man. I'm here with my guy Greg Hackett. We're gonna speak about some boxing news, some breaking news. A lot of people saying it's fake news, but we kind of got the word that it's official. Shakur Stevenson broke his hand in training camp, preparing for his fight. Coming up in it's supposed to be next month, I believe. What's your thoughts?
For me, man, it's like he can't catch a break. You know what I mean? This was new beginnings for him dealing with Matchroom. His first fight with them. I mean, it's not gonna set him back too far, but it's almost like it's something like he gotta definitely get taken care of, because you can't fight without your hands. You know what I mean? I feel bad for him a little bit though. You know what I mean? Because I was looking to see how he looked in his fight, where his energy was, things like that. I mean, I hope it's something that he can get tended to and get it fixed. You know what I mean? Where he wouldn't have these problems so often, because he just had an issue when he fought not Artem, but the fight before that. You know what I mean? Where he messed his hand up. So I feel like, damn, like I almost feel like he got like a dark cloud over top of him right now. But it might be something better at the end.
Yeah, so new promotional deal with Matchroom.
Yeah.
People looking forward to him displaying his talent. Now you said that this could happen a lot of ways. In the ring, heavy bag. I never heard about hitting heavy bag and breaking the hand, but you said that's possible.
Yeah, you could break your hand, your wrist. You know what I mean? You can hit, depending on how you hit in the bag, or this could be it could do with the structure of his hand. You know what I mean? His hand, he might have not small hands, but thin bones in his hands. You know what I mean? Where he chipping away at him. You know what I mean? He could be breaking them down. I mean, and then they go from all the years of hitting the bag, all the years of sparring, things like that. You break your hand. You know what I mean? But I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen both ways. I've seen a guy break his hand in the ring and in just hitting the bag. I've seen it.
So, from the reports of the training camp, everybody's saying, Shakur looking good. I mean, that's the obvious, man. We know Shakur and his ability and his talents now.
Yeah.
Normally when a fighter breaks their hand, what's the normal recovery time, if you know? Like, is it like, months or?
That's the thing, because it could be something. It could be like the finger, knuckle, or it could be like inside his hand, like, you know what I mean, in the all up in here where the small bones is. You know what I mean? Something like that probably could take 2 months, you know what I mean, to get back healthy, where you can start using the hand again. You know what I mean? So we don't really know, but I would say 2 months for it to heal, and then maybe another month or two getting back using it. You know what I mean? Getting used to using it. And then you got to be confident while you're using it. You know what I mean? You don't want to be thinking like, damn, I don't want to throw too hard and break my hand. You know what I mean? So we might be looking at 6 months. You know what I mean?
So with this type of injury, right? With the card already set, the venue already set, everything is in place for the match. Do they continue on, find a replacement for Shakur, or because he's a headliner? So what do they do in that case?
I mean, Shakur was the showcasing. You know what I mean? So I don't think they will find a fighter for Cordina. But what they probably would do is just push the date back. You know what I mean? Run it back. Or maybe Cordina might say, I don't want to wait. I'll fight somebody else. And then they'll just have to find somebody else. You know what I mean? It's an unfortunate situation.
Because I heard, I was watching an interview, Eddie Hearn was saying that the plan was to fight Cordina.
Yeah.
And then in February, possibly fight Zepeda.
Right.
So with this now, you said like 6 months.
Right.
And then you got to wait 6 months for it to heal. Do you train while it's healing, or what do you do to kind of keep in shape, while that bone heals in the hand?
Well, with the rest of his physical, he can still work out. You know what I mean? The running, the calisthenics, and some of that stuff he can still do. Some of it. You know what I mean? Where it's not involving too much of him putting too much pressure on his hand. But the punching, that's the only thing he won't be able to do. Just the punching. You know what I mean? But some of the workouts he'll still be able to do. Keep his weight intact, things like that. Keep his mind right. But I mean, sometimes something like this could put you in a slump, a mental slump, because you was really looking forward to putting on the show. You was really looking forward to fighting, and now you got to wait. So, I don't know, man. I just hope he just keep his head, stay in some shape. You know what I mean? Just stay ready.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it might not take 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, depending on, like you said, where the break is at in the hand.
Right.
Sometimes, but from what we heard was that he needed emergency surgery.
Right.
So I mean, they trying to fix it immediately. Like, hey, listen, we just go ahead and get it repaired.
Yeah.
Now, common injuries in boxing, I'm talking about in training. What's the most common injury that happens normally to fighters when they actually preparing for a fight?
I mean, you gotta think about it. You punching, so it's definitely gonna be your hands. It's gonna be your elbows. It's gonna be your shoulders. It might be your back. You know what I mean? Your knees. Like it's a lot of different ones, but probably the most common all have to do with upper body, shoulders, wrists. You know what I mean? Forearms, where anything that's attached to your hands, where you really, that's where you're taking the beating. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Punching on the bag and stuff like that. So I would say that's probably one of the most common is your hands. You know what I mean? And then, you know, of course, the cuts, things like that. It's a bunch of stuff you can go through, and that's why, to be honest, people gotta really. Even me, like I'm tough on fighters sometimes, but that's just me calling it how I see it. But the people who really don't know about boxing, don't really understand what you go through to prepare for a fight, these are the things you got to take into consideration. Guys get hurt all the time. It's even been guys that haven't spoke on it, or some have, in big fights. They had an injury. They never said nothing. But they never said nothing because they didn't want to stop the fight so they wouldn't get paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to get paid for their work, so you putting in all this work. You know what I mean? People don't understand. You know what I mean? These things happen all the time. And that's why we should respect fighters more, because, you know what I mean, you're really putting your body, your mind, and everything else on the line.
And so it's true, like fighters, like you said, fighters will go into an actual fight with a broken hand because they hungry, they got to feed their family, so forth and so on. They got to, listen, the show got to go on.
For
Now,
sure.
that leaves me at a disadvantage. So, like, what's the mindset a person got to have to be able to go in the ring with a broken hand? Like,
The truth is, though, you be thinking about it up until that bell ring. The bell ring, the adrenaline go, the pain go away with it. You know what I mean? And if you got your hand wrapped up nice enough, you gonna still throw that motherfucker like ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? Because I got to keep this dude off me. You know what I mean?
So how come fighters, when they, you know, we heard a lot of fighters who said that when they in the ring, they hurt their hand and they can't throw the hand. Is that a true statement, or is that something that people just use as an excuse more?
Well, it depends on the injury. You know what I mean? It might be I remember back in the day in the gym, I had like a wrist thing. And every time I touched the bag or I touched, that shit just ache. You know what I mean? And I can only feel it getting worse. So yeah, you don't want to keep feeling that, and then you feel like you can't get all the power you want out of it because it's feeling like that. So you using one hand. You know what I mean? Now you just using one hand, or just not getting in the ring. But like I said, if it's been a nice while in between fights and you trying to get paid, I mean, you're gonna take that fight. You mean you're gonna get in front of the doctor and you're gonna act like everything okay, but you know what I mean, you know it ain't. You know what I mean? You gotta get paid.
What do you think Eddie Hearn is saying right now at the big sign at Shakur? What do you think is his thoughts right now? Like,
I think he just thinking about the investment part, like, did I make a mistake? You know what I mean? Not with so much Shakur, but with him having those injuries. You know what I mean? He probably never even thought about it. He probably asked him when he first got with him, like, yo, how your hand feeling? Like, I'm cool, I'm ready to go. But then get back in camp, and for this to happen with I ain't gonna say hype, but with all the talk about Shakur and getting ready to see what he looked like versus Cordina, this is like, damn, like slap in the face a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not nobody's fault, but it's just the fact, like, damn, I was getting ready for this. You know what I mean? I wanted to see this kid do his thing. You know what I mean?
Why is it that a lot of times, like, it always, you look at like fighters who are like fast and crafty, they always seem to have problems with their hands. Like a fast fighter, like somebody who's like Shakur, like who's slick, fast, they always have like a disadvantage when it comes to their hands getting hurt all the time.
I mean, I feel like the guys with speed, the guys who, I know this might sound funny, but right, like the guys that can punch, they either got big hands or they got like these weird built hands where the middle part be sitting up this high, and they be like real rough hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it seemed like guys with the speed fighters, they got softer hands, smaller hands, and they really can't make a great fist. Like, you know what I mean? They can, but it's like it ain't really as crazy as you would think. And the speed, that's his gift. You know what I mean? His gift is not really punching. You know what I mean? And it might be because his hands ain't that good. You know what I mean? Or he just don't have the hands for it. It's a lot of things that go into a fight that you wouldn't think about that matter. You know what I mean? Or that really play a part. So I think maybe it's just the boxing guys, you might see that because just the way they built and the way their hands are and things like that. You know what I mean? They just don't have punchers' hands.
Yeah. Well, listen, lastly, before we go, man, anything you want to say to Shakur, like any advice that you want to give to Shakur in this camp?
I mean, if it was any advice, it would be just, man, keep your head in the game. You know what I mean? Stay focused, keep your body together. Try not to fall too far out of shape. And I mean, I know he's a professional. He's going to do what he got to do. But don't let it bother you, because everybody got a story, and you know, with everybody's story is always a turn, is always a fall, there's always something. I mean, just stay focused and stay locked in. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do.
Man, I appreciate you, G.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.